Amen, 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 and amen. This is your host, BizzelBHoopn, Off in the Cut podcast. I appreciate everybody pulling up, tuning in to the vibes. That is how we start off our stream. That is how we start off our podcast. That's how I start everything off. We got to thank the man above, for giving us a platform, for giving us opportunity, giving us life. So, this is episode 1. We dropping this one on YouTube, man, so I'm excited. Get a chance to talk about a lot of things because it is a lot going on in the sports world. Okay, the Off in the Cut podcast is a sports-based podcast. Like I said, hosted by your boy BizzelBHoopn. We talk about a lot of sports, all different kinds of sports. We are heavy on the basketball side because that is my background. But we like to, cover as many sports as we can. We definitely gonna talk about a lot of things on this episode. And if you haven't already, hit me on those socials. We got TikTok, Twitter, IG, and of course YouTube. So hit your boy with a follow, hit me with a sub, man, because we going up every single day. So we're gonna go ahead and get right into it. Shout out to the 4 in the arena already. Being patient with your boy. But let's get into it, man. Let's get into it. I keep my clipboard now. Alright. I gotta look this. Take this serious. Alright, we got a clipboard, we got notes. You know what I mean? So we're gonna get into it off the rip, man. Let's talk about the NFL. So the NFL, the Titans, Hassan Hoskins was arrested on aggravated charges. I had this in my notes with this situation because a lot of people like to talk about, the things that these football players go through, how the time frame, the hits, the plenty of things that they feel makes these guys make these decisions. And it's unfortunate because, nobody wants to get to a point where they're making a good amount of money to provide for their family and play the sport they love and make millions of dollars and just jeopardize that, So it's an unfortunate situation. Of course, I don't know the full details on it, but I know that's a gut punch to the Titans because at the end of the day, they have to do a lot of covering up for the media side. I know a lot of times when these situations go on, people think, oh, it's just about the player and this and that. Well, the media, kind of downs the team as well, and they have to kind of cover up for that, and especially if this is a high caliber player, for their team. Now they got to find a way to, possibly replace him on the field, because we don't know how these things are going to go, how the charges are going to go, with him being arrested. Hopefully things, pan out for him. He can get back to playing the sport he loves and doing what he can to, to provide for his family. So, this is, like I said, an unfortunate situation for the Tennessee Titans. There's a topic that was brought up about the quarterbacks getting helmet cams. Now, they said it could benefit the NFL in a good way if the quarterbacks have helmet cams. And I wanted to know you guys' opinion. Drop a comment down below, and let me know, what do you think about quarterbacks having helmet cams? What do you think the benefits is it, or what are the benefits for the quarterbacks having a helmet cam? So I want y'all to let me know, man. Drop that down below in the comments, man. Let me get your opinions on what do you feel about helmet cams. And I kind of want to look at this little section of the topic here on the ESPN news. And it said it can give NFL teams an edge, so I just want to see if I can pull it up really fast. So there was Tua made the quarterback for the Miami Dolphins said it's almost like you think of the integrity of the huddle. And he said, do I really want the coaches to hear what I say to the guys? So he's kind of saying pretty much that's a con. That's a con for having helmet cams on the quarterbacks' helmets, because now you get to hear everything I say to my teammates in the huddle, which is pretty, not saying private, but I ain't gonna lie to you. You gotta think about it, man. In these huddles, and I know it from when I played football when I was younger, and of course, kids are playing high school and playing, college and stuff. I ain't gonna lie. Teammates is chewing each other out in that huddle, bro. They be cussing each other out, saying you ain't doing this, you ain't doing that. Now, you put a quarterback cam on a helmet. Now you get to hear all of that and see all of that. It kind of just take away the the team camaraderie. I say, you know what I'm saying? Like everything. This is my thing, man. And unfortunately, we in one of those type of eras where everything don't need to be recorded, bro. Y'all, you don't need to know what every single waking move or thing is being said. This and that. You gotta think about it. It's to the point where so much is taken from the media standpoint, or people are paying attention so hard to what's going on. Pause, just in case. Legendary. They pay attention. They're so detailed and paying attention to what superstars say that LeBron James, when he has to say comments, or I see other players in the NBA, they gotta hold their shirt over their mouth like this because somebody with a camera's recording them talking and they don't want them to see what they're saying. Like, man, like why? Like we're in an era where like there's no privacy. You get what I'm saying? So it's like I see what Tua's saying about having the cam, on the quarterback's helmet, because that could be a pro. You're taking away from, the camaraderie we have as a team. The way he wants to lead is probably different than what most. I mean, you gotta think about it too. That's another way of knowing if he's changing plays in the huddle. The coach is making the play on the sideline, and he in the huddle altering the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? Which could benefit. It could harm the team. It could benefit the team. But that's between the players. I don't get it. So you guys tell me what y'all think below about the whole helmet cams. I mean, and then this is my thing too, with everything being recorded and all of that good jazz. Stuff can get leaked. So now you got a helmet cam from a quarterback from a team, and then now let's say you let go an assistant coach of one of the teams. He is just spiteful, and he releases one of the webcam or the helmet cams videos with him telling the plays and stuff like that. Like, I get you study film and stuff like that, but now you put him in a situation where he can now expose the other team because, oh yeah, I got this on my computer, or they about to fire me. Let me send this out to the other 31 teams in the league so we can know the plays. It's little stuff like that. Like that's the way I look at it. So I don't know. Like I said, y'all let me know down in the comments what you think about the quarterbacks having a helmet cam. Because that's something they're looking into. I mean, I think at the end of the day, the sport of football is changing. It's a barbaric sport. It's a physical sport that, I mean, be honest with you, players are putting their lives on the line every time they step out there on the field. Like I said, it's a barbaric sport, and they're making a lot of adjustments, changing some things, doing this, doing that. Like I don't watch it like that. I am a Broncos fan as far as the Pro Bowl. I'm gonna say I don't watch the Pro Bowl. I'm not saying I don't watch the sport because, like I said, I'm a Denver Broncos fan, but I don't watch the Pro Bowl like that. I just found out this past year the All-Star game, well, the Pro Bowl game that used to be an actual game, was now like flag football apparently. Didn't know that. Did not know that at all. I just found that out. So that was a new experience for me. Finding out that the Pro Bowl isn't the Pro Bowl really. It's a flag football game, and I get it. You want to keep your players healthy. You don't want anybody getting hurt because that's the halfway mark of the season, and you want to make sure your players are healthy going into the postseason. So I get it. I get the understanding, but it's the same thing even with the NBA. Like the NBA All-Star game has lost a lot of views because now, and I think Jaylen Brown said it in an interview, it's a glorified layup line. Because of course everybody let people go, let them dunk, let them doing this and that. So I mean, I don't know. It's definitely changed from how I watched it when I was growing up. So like if anybody remembers that iconic hit in the Pro Bowl when Sean Taylor hit that punter that tried to take off for that sneak, the punter got up and had to dap up Sean Taylor for how hard he hit him. Like, yo, that man, Sean Taylor is a legend, man. R.I.P. to the GOAT, Sean Taylor, man. Blessings to you blessings to his family. Shout out to Coach Pete. Great guy, man. Shout out to Gabe. Gabe's doing his thing. It's the whole Taylor family, man. Shout out to all of them, man. It's really dope to see how far they've come along. I know it's a tough battle, not having Sean here every single day, but I know they're definitely living through his legacy in the right way, and blessings to them, man. Much love to them. Shout out to Coach Pete. Like I was working out with Coach Pete, man. Coach Pete had me throwing up in the trash can, man. I had my wife out there with me, man. I went down there just to get some work with Coach Pete, man, down there, down in South Miami, man, and it was some good work. I can tell you that, it was some really good work, man. I'm out here throwing up in the trash can, man. So I miss those days. I ain't gonna lie, cause that made me better, man. It really pushed me to become the athlete that I have become, So shout out to Coach Taylor, for that. Players. There are some players that just recently got suspended due to the fact that they were gambling on the games. Now, I'm kind of okay, let me say this about that, and I'm gonna keep it short because it's obviously they made the decision. They've been suspended, for how many games. One guy got released from his team after that happened. Like, they just straight up said, "Nah, bro, you gone." So if it is a part of their rules that they cannot do that, which I think it is, they know that going in. It's tough because one of the guys made a valid statement. We're putting our bodies on the line every single night. What is me betting $1,000 or something extra on myself to win a football game? So I get the gist of the point, but if it's a part of the rules that you can't do it, that's tough. That's it's the rules. Like I said, some guys got suspended, but one guy lost his job completely. You know what I'm saying? One guy, the team said, "All right, don't worry about it. We don't need your services anymore." So now he's in a situation where he has to find another job. He has to find another team. So, I mean, it's tough. That's a tough scenario, because you gotta think about it. I mean, who's not trying to make a little extra money in any scenario? I get they're making millions of dollars, but you want to continue to make it. But I mean, you gotta think about it. I guess the situation is they're gambling on themselves, but are they point shaving? So I guess that's probably what it comes down to, and that's why it's such a heavy fine behind it, because it's like, okay, you betting on yourself, but then you could be betting that your team loses, so you out there, dropping passes, or you out there missing tackles on purpose, so the team don't win. Like, there's a lot that can play a role into it. So I can understand the severity of why they suspended him, and then, like I said, the one gentleman unfortunately was released from his team. So, I mean, that's a tough situation, but I personally think that's going on in all sports. That's just, they got caught. I'm gonna just keep it a buck. They got caught. So I don't know what their route is or how they doing it, but they got caught. So, J.J. Watt, and I didn't know. This is how, like I said, I wasn't really following, especially following the Texans like that when he was playing for them. That J.J. Watt has, he retired. So post his retirement, he's looking to join CBS Sports to become an analyst. So I've realized, once a player has played in the professional leagues, whether it's the NBA, the NFL, maybe the NHL, the MLB, everybody goes into the route of go ahead into broadcasting, which is good. I mean, because you got to think about it. You're a player at the sport. You've played at the highest level. You know the game. So, hey, why not, become an analyst? I know one thing a lot of people talk about, Tony Romo. Tony Romo is an amazing analyst, especially the transition, being a quarterback for so long with the Dallas Cowboys, but to be an analyst, they talk about him being an analyst a lot. Same thing with Tim Tebow. Tim Tebow's a great analyst. It's pretty cool how he does the college game days, and he's a part of that crew. So it's dope to see, players transition into the broadcasting role. I know a lot of people from the media outlet don't like that. I can be honest with you, because A perfect example, like you got your Draymond Greens, you got your Pat Beverleys, you got these guys in the NBA that just speak their mind. JJ Redick is another great analyst, and he's gonna tell it how it is. So, I remember one day they had CJ McCullough, on the ESPN First Take, and he grilled Stephen A. Smith. So, like, I feel like some people in the media are not afraid, but like when these players get that broadcasting position, I feel like they don't like the fact that they just gonna speak their truth, because now their truth can be heard. They're not speaking from a player side anymore. They're speaking from an analyst side with the player's knowledge. So I mean, at the end of the day, only the players know what goes on in the locker room. Only the players know what goes on the field or on the court. Analysts, you're just looking from the outside in. I don't personally like when the analyst that never even played the sport or hasn't had a really high level of playing the sport, and the way they talk about players and stuff like that, I'd be like, but you ain't even get that far. Like, I mean, I forgot who they was talking about. I don't know if it was Skip Bayless, but somebody told him he averaged like, I think it was Jalen Rose. He told Skip Bayless he averaged like 2.2 points in middle school or something. He said it's just, you can't make those statements if you ain't never really done nothing. Like, at least let me know you went to college and hooped. You know what I'm saying? But that's a whole nother process. But shout out to JJ Watt, man, for joining the CBS Sports team. Moving on to the NCAA football. The only topic I got about this is everybody was excited with the announcement of them saying that we're going to drop NCAA 24, but it is held up because of the new NIL deal and the percentage that ESPN, EA Sports came back with, saying how much they would give the players association or the reps or whoever it is in the NCAA, once they bought that number back. Players are not okay with the number. I forgot how much they said they was going to give each player on the game to use their likeness, use their name, but they are not liking the number. So apparently the game is being held up again. So yeah, everybody that was excited for it, unfortunately, you gotta wait again. You know what I'm saying? So you said it's supposed to be coming out the 24th or 25th. Oh, okay. They said it was coming out. Okay, I seen a report said it was on hold again. So I'll double check that. But I know as I read last today on ESPN. Hold on, because I got it over here. Let me double check my time frame when I read it. So, at 7:42, they're seeing the pros and cons with the new NIL state laws. So it's supposed to come out in 24, 25. Okay, gotcha. Okay, well, I knew it was held up. So because like I said, I heard the players didn't agree with the number, man. So it's crazy. Shout out to Faded, man, pulling up in the building to the Off in the Cut podcast, man. I appreciate you pulling up. So YouTube, I do the podcast live on Twitch, but we show love to our viewers as well. So I always like to give a little shout out to our viewers, man. So when they pull up and they chop it up in the chat. All right, so moving on to the MLB, the Brewers beat the Pirates 11-8 tonight. The Mets beat the Giants 4-1, and then the Oakland A's beat the White Sox 7-6 on an error play at the end. And I talk about the Oakland A's because it is crazy in Oakland how they just want these teams. They want the team to be sold. Apparently, everybody in the stadium during one of their games, they stayed quiet for an entire inning, and then like the next inning, everybody chanted "Sell the team." As an owner, how do you feel about that? And I need y'all to drop that down below. Drop a comment down below. How would you feel as an owner in your stadium? You get thousands of people screaming to sell the team. I gotta know your opinion on that one. Let me know what y'all would do in that scenario as an owner of a team if people are screaming to sell the team out loud. Mind you, like I said, they stayed quiet for an entire inning. Like you you can hear a pin drop how quiet they were in that stadium, quiet it was in that stadium, and then they just screamed "sell the team" like at the loudest they can. So that's an unfortunate situation. I know they haven't been winning like that, but that's just unfortunate. That's really unfortunate. That's really unfortunate. Moving on to the NHL. If you did not know, the Las Vegas, I believe it's the Las Vegas Golden Knights. They beat the Florida Panthers in the Stanley Cup. Man, shout out to the Florida Panthers though, man. Y'all gotta realize this. We got a hockey team in Florida, but it don't snow here. And I say that to say this because you gotta think about it. The conversation for hockey, I don't know where to even start. Like even for his ice rinks in Florida, or at least in South Florida, I only know of two, and one of them is at like where the practice facility used to be for the Florida Panthers, and another one's by an LA Fitness, over in Pembroke Pines. So those are like the only two places I know where you can go ice skating. So to see the Florida Panthers make it all the way to the Stanley Cup Finals was dope. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, you don't. When is the last time you heard the Florida Panthers, making some noise in the NHL? You know what I'm saying? And in Florida we got what, the Florida Panthers, we got the Tampa Bay Lightning, and I think that's it. Yeah, we got like two Florida teams that represent us in hockey. And like I said, it don't snow. You know what I'm saying? So, I guess to each his own, because it doesn't snow in Las Vegas either. So, but I know Las Vegas is a city that's always looking to add teams. But Florida Panthers has been a team for a very long time. So it was great to see them have some success, and it was dope to see the Florida Panthers and the Miami Heat have success at the same time. So the city of Miami was on fire, man, during the finals. Now I ain't gonna cap. I'm not a fan, obviously. Y'all know I'm a Lakers fan. I don't watch hockey like that. So I'm not really a hockey fan of a team. I can be honest with you on that. But it would have been dope to see both South Florida teams win the finals. I ain't gonna lie to you. Now I knew the Nuggets was gonna beat the Heat because of just the firepower the Nuggets have. It's nothing against the Heat, as I always said. The Heat had dogs. They have dogs, but the firepower and the rate that the Nuggets were winning at, you couldn't beat that. It was tough to beat that. Like I said, and even when I said it with the Lakers series, I told y'all. Sorry about that, y'all. It was just their year. It was just the Nuggets year. It was just the Nuggets year, man. That's just what it comes down to. It was their year to win it. It was their year to win it. That's all I have for the NHL, because now it's time to get into the meat and potatoes of this conversation that we about to have. The NBA free agency is on fire right now. When I say on fire, it's hotter than fish grease. It's hotter than the grits that you leave on the stove on medium low and you forget to stir them up. That's how hot it is. Everybody's moving. Some people staying. But the one thing I can say, they are throwing money out here. I need a check. Alright, I'm going to sit up for that part. I need a check. I'm looking right here in this camera. I need a check. The way y'all giving out checks in the league right now, I need a check. Sign me to just a 10-day, 500,000, 800,000, something. Because the numbers I'm seeing y'all throwing these players, I can go get you 8 points, 3 assists right now. I'll leave that at that. But man, they are spending bread right now in the league, man. Shout out to the viewers, man. But let's get into it. Look, it was so much NBA stuff I couldn't fit it on my page. I gotta read it directly from ESPN. So we finna get it. We finna get into that. Give me 1 second. All right, so let's go ahead and go down here to this NBA section because there's just a lot going on. It's a lot going on. And the thing is, I'm probably about to start from the beginning, low key. So, let me see. All right. So, so obviously, before I get into the free agency, let's talk about the NBA draft real fast. So we had Victor Wembanyama go first to the Spurs. Then Brandon, I think is his name Brandon Miller, or is his name Andre Miller? I could be wrong. I know his last name is Miller. He played for the University of Alabama. He was drafted by the Charlotte Hornets at number 2. And then Scoot Henderson was drafted 3 by the Portland Trailblazers. So I know a lot of people thought Scoot was going second. But they ended up going with Miller from the University of Alabama. So those are the top 3 picks from the draft. So I know the summer league is getting ready to start. So, we get a chance to check those things out. And I'm going to start, I never got into it, but I am going to say this, now. I'm going to start getting into reacting to videos. I'm going to start getting into that. I know that's a wave, on the YouTube platform. People react to videos. So I'm going to start getting into that. We're going to start reacting to some of these games. And, drop that content on YouTube. I'm learning YouTube, so y'all bear with me. You know what I'm saying? I'm learning, so I appreciate y'all, let me get through this process and learn as much as I can. So we're going to get into some reactions too. But, so let me show this here. Let me see. All right, so this is where we're gonna start. So Terran Prince, he played for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Okay, they declined his guaranteed money, and actually he ended up signing with the LA Lakers. So Terran Prince is the LA Laker. The Wolves did not want to bring him back, so he did sign with the Lakers. Okay, I think that's a W pickup. Defender, can shoot it a little bit. Definitely think our brains. That's the main thing. We need guys that can play defense. I'm not gonna lie to you. Nikola Vucevic, I think I said that terribly wrong. But he played for the Bulls. Y'all know him when y'all see him. He signed a 3-year, $60 million extension. Okay. The Jazz, Horton Tucker, who used to play for the Lakers, he picked up an $11 million option. Let's see. Victor Oladipo also exercised his option to be a free agent, and he signed with the Oklahoma City Thunder. So what y'all think about that? Because he ended up going back to where he was, and it's unfortunate that he went down with that injury. Injuries is something, man. Injuries is something. So he's going back to OKC, man. So speedy recovery to him. I hope it works out for him in OKC. I felt like he did well in OKC, so I think him going back, they're going to welcome him with open arms. Let's see. KJ Martin, so Kenyon Martin Jr., he did a player option as well. He went to free agency, and he actually got picked up by the Clippers. That's actually a dope pickup for them because high flyer, very athletic. You know what I'm saying? He can bring that to their team. Let's see who Chad. It's so much that happened. So much that happened. So I know we let go of Mo Bamba. Mikal Beasley, he declined his option. So I know they're going. Blockbuster pickup. The Phoenix Suns get Bradley Beal. Now, chat, let's talk about that for a second. We're not going to speed past that like we ain't just say that just now. Bradley Beal is playing for the Phoenix Suns. Bradley Beal, Kevin Durant, Devin Booker are all on the same team. Now, I need y'all to comment below. What do y'all think about these super teams building now in today's game? What do y'all think about them? Because a lot of people said KD ruined that and started that. But there's a wave of people that talk about how LeBron started that when he went to Miami. So what do you guys feel about that? How do you feel about these superstars teaming up together to pretty much bring home a championship for a said team? Because that's a lot of offense. It's a lot of offense over there in Phoenix. I'm wondering, because now with all of that money they got to pay all three of those players, who else they gonna go get to be on the team? This just they gotten rid of like that pickup with the Bradley Beal was a we need to win right now trade or deal. That's a we need to win right now, and it's crazy, chat, because I said it. I hope somebody clipped it because I said it before. If they didn't win this year, Chris Paul was gone, and look what happened. And that's another thing. Chris Paul was picked up by the Golden State Warriors. Now, we're going to be here all day when we talk about that, but let's stick to what we're talking about with Bradley Beal and this team now. Because he came in with the understanding like, hey, this is Book's team. We're not even front of this is Book's franchise. This is Book. So he comes in already unselfish. Because why? Chat, Bradley Beal want to win. Bradley Beal want to hold up that trophy. Kevin Durant done held it up twice. Devin Booker's never held it up. So, like, Bradley Beal's already locked into, I'm going to do what it needs. I'm going to do what needs to be done to make sure we win. And that's great. That's great because a lot of guys come in like, nah, I need to be an option. Because you got to think about it. Now you can't double team Devin Booker no more. You can't double team Kevin Durant because look who's going to be open. You double Kevin Durant. You got Devin Booker, Bradley Beal open. You double Devin Booker. Now you got Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal. You double Bradley Beal. Now you got Kevin Durant and Devin Booker. Like, that's a lot of firepower in Phoenix. I can tell you that. Whole lot of firepower. Alright. Excuse me. Alright, so Andre Drummond, he opted in with the Bulls, so he has re-signed with the Bulls already. And the crazy part is I was going to look at Woj and give y'all all of this information. James Harden, James Harden, Philadelphia 76ers, has now opted out and is exploring. He wants to be traded. He wants to be traded. He doesn't want to be in Philly anymore. It's crazy because now I wonder what that means for Joel Embiid, because I know for a fact Joel Embiid want to win too. You know what I'm saying? Like, now that that's about to break up, what happens with Joel Embiid? Who can they go get to, you know what I'm saying, give that firepower to Philly like they kind of had, So, we'll see where James Harden lands. But he wants to be traded. Kristaps Porzingis, I think, is a big time trade for the Boston Celtics. The Wizards traded and gave up Kristaps Porzingis, so he is a Boston Celtic now. So you got Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Kristaps Porzingis, and a couple of those other core parts to the Celtics. Marcus Smart was traded to the Memphis Grizzlies. So Marcus Smart is a Memphis Grizzly now. Also, just happened today as well. The Marcus Smart trade already happened, but what happened today, Derrick Rose is a part of the Memphis Grizzlies now. So now they get that veteran in the locker room that everybody kept saying that team needed. You know what I'm saying? Everybody that they said they need a vet in that locker room. They need a vet. They need this guy. They need that guy. Derrick Rose is about to level out that whole situation in Memphis, which is going to be dope. Because, you got to think about it. And I seen a post one day, all of the stuff Ja Morant was getting into. Somebody said, yo, since you want to be this guy, that guy, give your knees to Derrick Rose, please. Because if you know. Prime Derrick Rose, the youngest MVP in the league, was a problem. But injuries got him. And it's dope to see him after maybe 6+ surgeries, bro. He's still in the league playing the game he loves. That's why besides the support I get from my wife, besides the support I get, from, just other people I talk to, in a sense, I can come back from my injury. Like I said, I don't know what I want to do with the game right now, but I've had, surgery 3 times. It's the 3rd time I've had to go through this process. It's a frustrating process, you know what I'm saying? But to see a guy like Derrick Rose do it, 6 times plus, and still be in the league, still be, it's pure motivation in the sense of it can still be done. So shout out to Derrick Rose, man. A legend, Hall of Famer. I don't care what y'all say. He's a Hall of Famer, ring or not. He's a Hall of Famer. So, but we'll be talking about a different person if he was healthy. Same thing with Brandon Roy. I'm gonna say that to this day. If injuries didn't stop Brandon Roy, we'll be talking about a different kind of person this day. All right, so here we go. Let's see. So Ben Simmons won't play in the World Cup because he's focusing on rehab. He's been battling that back issue. So he won't be playing in the World Cup. Let's see. Harrison Barnes is staying with the Kings, 3-year, $54 million extension. The Lakers did let go Dennis Schroeder. I think he signed with, I ain't gonna lie to y'all, I'm about to go on my phone because I know this information is from the 30th now. This is not from today, of course, so I went way back because there's just so much going on, but today is the 1st of July, but this is from June 30th, so this is definitely, a couple days ago. So Joe Harris from the Nets, the shooter from the Nets, is going to the Pistons. The Sixers are not planning to keep Tyrese Maxey, which is unfortunate. He was a young guy, man, doing great things with them. So he's not going to be coming back with the team. The Lakers offer Austin Reeves a 4-year, $52 million deal. The Cavs went ahead and reached deals with Chris LeVert and Georges Niang. Okay. Bruce Brown, the guard that came off the bench for the Denver Nuggets in that championship run. It's crazy because the head coach said, "Y'all think Brucey B is going anywhere?" No, whatever he said. Fast forward to a bag got dropped and that boy out of there. So Bruce Brown is playing. He's going to the Pacers for a 2-year, $45 million deal. Listen, when you get that ring, your conversation is different. So I know Coach said, "Yo, you ain't going nowhere," but Pacers said, "Hey, my boy, we need you to come over here for blah blah blah." What my boy said on Friday after next, yeah, I said when I got the hood, I wasn't gonna change. I was gonna stay there. But when I got my check, I was gone. That's what Bruce Brown just did. He said, "Look, I got my check and my championship. I'm gone." So I can't blame him, man. Listen, you building wealth for your family. So Kyrie Irving, big name, is returning to the Dallas Mavericks on a 3-year deal, $126 million. Man, that's crazy, man, because if they get one more piece, the Mavs will be a dangerous team. They need one more piece. They get one more piece, they'll be a very, very dangerous team. So hopefully they can get the piece, man, during this time frame. Cameron Johnson agreed to return to the Nets on a 4-year, $108 million deal. Chris Middleton, everybody was wondering what Chris Middleton was going to do. Was he leaving Milwaukee because he opted out, all of that good jazz. But he did it just to make sure he, got his money. So he is agreed to come back to the Bucks on a 3-year, $102 million deal. The Spurs retained Trey Jones on a two-year, $20 million deal. Free agent Joe Ingles lands a deal with the Orlando Magic. Chat. Joe Ingles signed a 2-year, $22 million deal with the Orlando Magic. Joe Ingles is a professional basketball player in the NBA. Never taken anything against him. $22 million though, because I'm trying to figure out what is going to be his purpose in Orlando. He's a veteran guy. He's an older guy. Nothing wrong. Like I said, Chad, I ain't never mad about somebody getting their bag. But Man, 22 million for 2 years, 11 million a year. I need that check. I can go knock down some corner jumpers. I can do that. I could be a positive guy. I can do that. I need a check, NBA. Let me hold something. Leave that at that. Man, that's grass Joel Ingles, man. You got that, big dog. The Raptors agree on a 4-year deal with the free agent Jacob Poletti. I think that's the guy from overseas in Europe. He won like MVP of like the Euro Cup or something like that. So I noticed that it was two big names that got signed today. That were overseas guys. So the Wizards they go ahead and keep Kyle Kuzma on a 4-year, $102 million deal. Kobe White and Javon Carter on a 3-year deal. They will be coming back to the Chicago Bulls. The Timberwolves agreed to bring Troy Brown and Shake Milton to the team. Herb Jones stays with the Pelicans on a 4-year, $54 million deal. The Heat are bringing back Josh Richardson and Kevin Love. So Josh Richardson wasn't with the Heat, this previous season. He was there the season before. So he's now coming back to the Heat. And then they're also bringing back Kevin Love. Dennis Schroeder agrees to a 2-year, because I would say he did get traded. I mean, he did, like I said, the Lakers are not bringing him back. But he signed a 2-year, $26 million deal with the Toronto Raptors. So, good for him. And I mean, a lot of people still talk about how he dropped the ball with the Lakers on that first deal they gave him, and then ended up in Boston for way less than the amount. I mean, he was betting on himself, man. So he felt like he wanted a certain number. So look, this tells you. Look. I wish I could show y'all some of these names. But Damon Lee, Yet Awatabo Drew. That's bruh's first name? That's crazy. Yo, what they do? How y'all living, man? I appreciate y'all pulling up to the Off in the Cut podcast. Hope y'all having a great weekend. We are in here talking about this NBA free agency and all the money that they out there giving out. I hope y'all good. Appreciate it. Appreciate the vibes. Move this over here. Like I said, YouTube, man, we drop shout outs when people pull up, man. So we show love. We show love. So yes. Move this here. What they do, Focus? I appreciate you pulling up to the stream. And then we got Shay. We got Focus, and we got Felicia pulling up. We got Faded pulling up. I appreciate y'all. So there it is. Y'all make sure y'all go show all of those content creators some love, man. Hit them with a follow. Alright, but like I said, I just named some names that I couldn't even tell y'all that just signed with the Suns, because they gotta get players. Seth Curry agrees to a 2-year deal to sign with the Dallas Mavericks. That's a big pickup for them. Like I said, I just think they need one more player, and honestly, I think preferably a big. They need a big. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Reggie Jackson and DeAndre Jordan are gonna return to the Nuggets. The Lakers, we retained Hachimura, and then we picked up Gabe Vincent. He's the point guard from the Miami Heat that just had a great postseason. So we picked up Gabe Vincent. So I think that's a W pickup to keep Hachimura, and then to pick up Gabe Vincent, which is a great scorer. Plays well defensively. Like I said, we need defensive guys. You know what I'm saying? So I think those are 2 W pickups for us. Draymond Green. I know a lot of people was wondering where Draymond Green was. They was hinting at him leaving to go into Portland, this and that. I said it. I just said he was just renegotiating his deal. Especially that they got Jordan Poole out of there, because Jordan Poole went to the Washington Wizards, so he's not a Warrior anymore. But the Warriors ended up bringing back Draymond Green on a 5-year, $160 million deal. So that was just conversation talks, just to get the price he want, which you can't beat that. Jeremy Grant got a 5-year, $160 million deal. Trey Lyles is returning to the Sacramento Kings. Fred Fred VanVleet, the point guard for the previous point guard for the Toronto Raptors, chat. He signed for 3 years, $130 million to go to the Houston Rockets. So Fred VanVleet, traded in his red and white in Toronto to pick up some red and white in Houston. So, at least he ain't got to change a bunch of his shoes and get a bunch of different colors for his, his tights and stuff and under, because they, red and white. You feel what I'm saying? So he's gonna be playing for the Rockets this year. I told y'all about Derrick Rose. He signed a 2-year deal with the Grizzlies. Tyler Hallenberg, the point guard who went crazy this year, for the Indiana Pacers, signed a 5-year max contract extension with the Pacers. Okay. I told y'all about the Thunder and Victor Oladipo. They traded with the Heat to get him. The Wizards are trading the vet Monte Morris to the Pistons. The Lakers have signed Jackson Hayes. Jackson Hayes is the big from the New Orleans Pelicans. Very athletic shot blocker. More defense that we need, man. Desmond Baines and the Grizzlies have agreed to a 5-year, $207 million max extension. So this is a big pickup for him. He got his bag, did his thing, built him a home. The Kings have signed the EuroLeague's MVP, Sasha Veznokofi. I know I chopped that up terribly. I did. I'm not gonna lie to you. I chopped that up terribly. But that's one of the guys, like I said, there's been a couple of European guys that got picked up, by some NBA teams because they've been going crazy overseas. All right. Another Euro star, Vij. I'm not going to destroy this man, but let's just know the Thunder picked up another Euro star as well. All right. The Sixers picked up Patrick Beverley on a 1-year contract. So shout out to Patrick Beverley and Rome for the Pat Bev pod with Rome. Like I told y'all, man, y'all podcast inspired me to do my own. It's dope to, get 2 brilliant minds together, man, and just spread positive knowledge and dope content, man. All of the guests you guys had, like Jerry Springer before he passed away. You had Charleston White on there one time. You had recently Jay Williams. You know what I'm saying? I can go down the list, man. I've tuned into every single episode, so y'all keep doing y'all thing, man. It's dope content. It's a dope pod, man. So shout out to y'all. I gotta cop me some merch though. Y'all do got some dope merch. You know what I'm saying? You can't say that. You know what I'm saying? You can't say that. So I know Ron is beyond hype because Ron is a huge Philadelphia Sixers fan. So to get Patrick Beverley to go to Philly, I know that's a dope situation. So shout out to Patrick Beverley. And it's like I said, man, y'all go subscribe to the pod, man. Patrick Beverley, the Pat Bev pod, with Rome, man. So y'all go show them some love, man. We got Brook Lopez is returning to the Bucks on a 2-year, $48 million deal. Like I said, the Lakers, we re-signed Austin Reeves to a 4-year extension. Let me see. So the Heat just picked up Thomas Bryant on a 2-year, $5.4 million deal. Thomas Bryant just won an NBA championship with the Denver Nuggets. Big pickup. He did play for the Lakers. Definitely a guy that clogs the paint. I think he'll fit that Heat culture very well. All right. The Magic keep Mo Wagner on a 2-year, $16 million deal. D'Angelo Russell is returning to the Lakers on a 2-year, $37 million deal. I just need D'Lo to turn up in the playoffs. He ain't really getting his bag like that in the playoffs. I'm not gonna lie to you. He ain't really getting his bag like that in the playoffs, so he got to turn it up in the playoffs for me. Melo Ball has agreed on a 5-year max extension, of course, with the Charlotte Hornets. Y'all know he ain't going nowhere no time soon. The Knicks are trading Obi Toppin to the Pacers. Now, I did not see that coming. I don't know who they were moving him for or what they were trying to do, but to send Obi Toppin, I kind of shrugged my shoulder a little bit. I was like, I mean, did he ask to be? I wouldn't say he asked, but like, why? You know what I'm saying? So, Max Strus, another guard from the Miami Heat, is on the move as well. He signed a 4-year, $63 million deal with the Cleveland Cavaliers. So he is not with the Heat. So a lot of people say that Pat Riley's over there making moves for somebody, a pretty high caliber player. So, no Gabe Vincent, no Max Strus. I'm going to tell y'all who they're hinting at. So we'll see if it happens and if it falls through. Let's see. The Clippers, like I told y'all, they got Kenyon Martin Jr. from the Rockets. Russell Westbrook agreed on a 2-year, $77.8 million deal to stay in LA with the Clippers, which I think is a W for him. He found a place that he can call a home. I mean, he's from LA. They let this team allows him to be him. Great situation for him. With that being said, at around 9:19 p.m. Eastern Standard Time today, and this is before we started. I think I was coming back from the gym. Damian Lillard requested a trade from the Portland Trail Blazers. Where will he go? Comment below. I need answers. Everybody's saying he's going to Miami. He's requested. That's at the top of his list of where he wants to go. But the situation is the Portland Trail Blazers need a high caliber player in return. Yes, they just got Scoot Henderson, 3rd draft pick, from the draft. But they want something big in return. Pause. Legendary. They do. You giving up Damian Lillard, that's a franchise player. So they want a franchise player in return. Straight like that. So, not gonna cap. If he goes to the Heat, I'm buying a Lillard jersey. I am a Lillard fan. Like Damian Lillard, aka Dame Dollar. Shout out to him. I will buy a Damian Lillard jersey. I'm not gonna cap y'all down. Be keeping a buck with y'all. So he requested a trade today. So we'll see how that plays out. Will everybody be looking at their phones? Like I said, I think that deal gonna go down at like 3-4 o'clock in the morning when everybody sleep. That's what's gonna happen. Just like how the KD, him going to Phoenix, he made that decision like 4 o'clock in the morning. Everybody sleep. Everybody woke up to that. So I think that's what's gonna happen. The Rockets agree on a 4-year, $80 million deal with a gentleman that a team told him he wasn't coming back. Dylan Brooks is going to Houston on a 4-year, $80 million deal. So I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I can't wait to see his first game back in Memphis. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like he gonna troll him. He gonna go off. He gonna do something. Cause they made it public he wasn't coming back. Like as soon as they lost to the Lakers, they made it public. Yo, Dylan Brooks ain't coming back. We don't care. So I want to see that first game when he go back to Memphis. I can't lie to you. All right. So the guard Dante DeFenzio, he used to play for the Warriors. He signed a 4-year, $50 million deal with the Knicks. And it's crazy because Josh Hart, Jalen Brunson, and Dante all played on Villanova at one point. And now they're all back on the same team in New York. So that's kind of dope. Dwight Powell agrees on the 3-year deal with the Mavericks. So he's staying in Dallas. And that's it as of right now. I'm going to refresh real quick to see if something happened with Dame. Okay, so Dante Exum, if y'all remember Dante Exum, he hasn't been in the league for a while, but he returns and he'll be playing for the Dallas Mavericks. Side note, it's not in the NBA, but I want to give a huge shout out to Brandon Knight. Brandon Knight won the MVP award in Puerto Rico, the top league in Puerto Rico. And I got to give a shout out to him, man, because if y'all know Brandon's story, like a lot of people like to troll about how this happened and that happened when he was in the league and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, he made it to the league, bro. And to be out of the league, most people would have just went ahead and quit. And the fact that he was able to go to another country and find a sense of home and win the MVP in his first season out there, beyond dope. You know what I'm saying? Beyond dope. It's funny because me and Brandon played on the same travel team when we were younger, man. So to see him get to the point of being in the league and to see where he is with his ups and downs, man. He's a firm believer in Jesus Christ, just like I am, and he makes it known. You know what I'm saying? So he's got a wife now, all of that good jazz. So shout out to Brandon, man, because him winning that MVP was, I know that was one of the biggest moments for him because of what he's been through. I can't speak from him, but I could just see it through his passion of how he plays over there in Puerto Rico. He's like, man, I really could have gave all of this up. So shout out to Brandon, man. Shout out to his trainer, Stan Remy. He runs Remy workouts, man. Remy's got his own situation going on in South Florida with all the runs at his gym and stuff like that. It's dope because I used to work out with Remy, and we was out there working at North Miami Community Center, man. And now he got his own facility and stuff. So shout out to Remy Workouts, man, for doing this thing, man. I got to get back in the runs too, man. I ain't gonna lie. When I get right, I got to get back in the runs, man. So it was dope. He used to invite me to play against these NBA guys, man, and it was just a dope situation. So shout out to Brandon Knight for that. Shout out to Son Whiteside, man. Son Whiteside was on the same team with him, and my boy Freddie. My boy Freddie, man. Y'all listen. If y'all don't know who Freddie is, chat, you need to know. Mr. Hooper Dreams himself. Dope person as well, man. We can go all along. Like I said, I could be here all day talking about it, but that's a great group of guys, man. But once again, man, like I said, shout out to Brandon for winning, that MVP, man. That's a really dope situation, man. League, y'all need to give that man another chance. I don't know what y'all doing. Let that man hoop, bro. That's all I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna leave that at that. All right. So we'll pay attention to, what happens with Damian Leonard. Obviously, we probably gonna discuss it and talk about it during the gameplay, because, like I said, I think personally it's gonna happen like 3-4 o'clock in the morning. But the big push, and his push, is he wants to go to Miami. Period. But I think the pushback is the Blazers don't want to send him nowhere, and they get not a star player in return. They straight up, they need a star player, they said. So we'll see how that plays out. Keep y'all posted. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, we definitely gonna talk about it, soon. So listen, I appreciate everybody that pulled up to the Off in the Cut podcast with your host, BizzelBHoopn, man. Thank you. If you haven't already, man, hit that sub button. If you haven't already, hit those social media platforms, TikTok, Twitter, IG, and of course, we're here on YouTube, man. Just trying to grow every single day. So I appreciate your genuine support, and I appreciate you taking time to check out the podcast today, man. So stay tuned, turn those noti bells on, man, so y'all know when I go live here on Twitch. And then also turn the noties on so y'all know when I upload the next podcast, man. Till then, I'm going to catch y'all on the next one. It's your boy BizzelBHoopn. Make sure you put that E before the L. And make sure you hold that follow through every single time. Y'all be safe, man. Y'all be blessed. I'm going to holler at y'all. Yo.